Hello viewers, this is Alex, your preferred cosmetologist. We want to discuss some facts and myths about our hair, and let's look at one, uh, which is a myth. Hair grows fast when you trim it. No. As I explained earlier, our hair grows from the scalp, from what we call the hair root, so to the surface from what we see. So trimming the ends will not increase the growth rate of your hair. What trimming ends will do will just ensure your hair is not detangling and your hair is not breaking when you are combing. So there's no way the ends are related to the hair growth. So hair grows from the scalp. Trimming ends will not assist your hair to grow fast, but it will improve on how you manage your hair and reduce hair breakage. So that is a myth. Another thing that we need to look at is hair grows after death. No, these are myths. When you die, you are dead. Nothing happens. To understand this, our hair gets nutrients which are supplied through papilla. And these blood veins and circulations, once you die, it means nothing happens. So your hair will not grow once you die. However, something will happen. There's already some hair in the follicle. This is the tube where the hair grows from. So as your skin shrinks, it pushes up the hair that had already been manufactured, but was in between the follicle. So this gives you an illusion the hair is growing. So once you die, the hair will not grow again. Another thing which is a myth, hair grows fast when you are having a protective style like braiding. No, this is a myth. Your hair will not grow fast. But what will happen, there are two things. One, your hair, depending on how the braiding was done, if your hair was coily and the braider did a lot of pulling, so your hair stretches out, it loses the coiliness and appears slightly wavy. So this gives you, it's just like when you pull a spring. It is the same spring, but because you've reduced the number of coils around, it appears longer. So your hair will not grow in braids, but your hair will give you that illusion. Then number two, you will minimize physical exposure, thus breakage, thus minimizing breakage. It means when you are in protective styles, you'll minimize the number of hairs that you are losing in a day due to physical things like combing hair every day, pulls, blow dryers, and so on. You've now just kept your hair. So your hair will not grow fast, but will give you that illustration. Another myth that we have, it's related to breastfeeding mothers. There are people who allege a breastfeeding mother, when they are doing their hair, somehow the hair can mix with the milk and the milk will harm the baby. No. What normally happens, as I explained earlier, our hair grows in stages, basically catagen, anagen, and telogen. So you find if during earlier stages of when a mother conceives, during earlier stages, you find the hair tends to grow more because it has delayed in one stage. But once you start breastfeeding during the last, because of changes in estrogen levels, your hair will tend to slightly thin. And there are people who could even have what we call postpartum alopecia. So it means if you relax hair that is in this nature using very strong chemicals, there's a high possibility there'll be hair breakage or hair will fall because the hair is weak. There are hairs that are thin. There are hairs that have changed the pH. Maybe pH has gone higher. or has gone down, depending on the hormonal changes with this client. So there's a high possibility this hair will break because of those. So what I normally say, to be safe, if you want to relax a mother who is breastfeeding, it's important for you to perform a strand test. A strand test is where you isolate a few hair strands, put them in a foil, apply the chemical you intend to use, then you monitor the progress of the hair, then determines. If this strand test fails, it means this hair will fall. So that is a myth. Let's look at something else. There are people who say rice water is good for the hair. Yes, indeed, rice water can improve the general texture of your hair and the condition of your scalp. Rice water do contain a substance called instol, which is very, very good as an oxidant. And also because of, we go back and to the beginning where we said our hair chiefly composed of protein material. So again, it is strengthened. Once it's strengthened, and the rice water again could assist you to strengthen and make your cuticles to look shiny, minimizing hair breakage. So yes, I've said it's a fact. People who are using rice water, especially, I've said if it contains an install element, which is a key component. So some rice water, depending on the area where you live in, you may not have this install in it. I've done quite a lot of research and I've found there's an area in India where people have very long, healthy, shine hair, and it's because of this rice water. So you can take some time, Google, find out, and also give us your comments. But again, this rice water could have side effects. And one of it is if you use it on overporous hair, it could overload the hair. The protein could overload the hair. Then there's also a herbicides or a chemical that is used. It contains traces of arsenic. This could be, these traces could cause your hair to dry, or could again in a way get other scalp related problems. So rice water, yes, it could improve your hair. Another fact, what about clay? We must agree clay has been used from ages. If you look at ancient ways on how hair was done, in one way, the word clay comes in. So yes, I would say clay is good for the hair. It will improve, strengthen the hair, and also could oxidize your scalp and clear the impurities on the scalp. So not all clay water is good, or not all clay is good. We normally say green clay and uh, bentonite clay. It's very, very good to your hair because it regulates sebum production, it relieves your scalp irritations, it improves circulations, and also it balances the moisture. So I would say clay is a positive to the hair, and depends on what type of clay you are using. Let's see other things. For example, can yogurt, milk help in hair growth? This, let me just say yes, no, depending on the intentions. But I would agree there are certain things we do that could improve the outer layer of the hair. For example, molecules found in milk, molecules found in raw avocado and milk, they are too big to penetrate to the cuticles and go to the cortex. So this one will give you a temporary relief on the surface. So normally they would give you a well-aligned cuticle and a shiny cuticle that can improve in your hair maintenance. So there are many things that we do, and there are many things that are not factual. There are things that gives us illustrations that hair is growing. There are things that we do that will help the surface. There are things we'll do that will not help at all. Another facts, can we mix treatment for better results? Yes, no. So a fact, yes, you can mix treatments for better results, but the bigger question you need to ask yourself, which kind of treatments are you mixing? For example, yes, it's a fact you can mix a protein treatment and a moisture treatment and apply them on the hair. So you have achieved the two things. You've addressed the issue of moisture, and you have addressed the issue of strengthening or breakage hair. So you can mix. However, if you are using scalp-related treatments, then you mix them with something else, definitely you are going to lower the concentration. There are those concentration of oxidants that's supposed to work on your scalp. So I would say if you are treating your hair, you can mix a moisture, a protein, and an oil and apply them on the hair. If you are doing a treatment, a scalp treatment, just do a scalp treatment so that it can get that intense. Then it's a fact and again a myth that protein treatments are bad and cannot be applied after relaxing. Protein treatments can be applied after relaxing, but it depends on what kind of a protein treatment you are applying. Hair plant-based protein treatments, especially the ones that contain or they come from wheat, they are very essential. They can be used after relaxing because we normally add in most after relaxing, we normally recommend moisture treatment. But remember, during a relaxing process, you've broken down the disulfide bonds. For this, you need to do something. You also need to heal the bonds. So if you have a treatment that is plant-based, and I've mentioned one that like has come from wheat-related treatment, then it can be used. But if you have a protein treatment that it's animal-based, it's not recommended. Because one, there are those that will cause the hair to revert back to normal, and there are others that could further damage the hair. So if you are not sure, I normally say use a protein treatment 2 weeks prior to relaxing, then you use a moisture treatment after relaxing, immediately after relaxing, or a week after relaxing. So the choice is yours, and you know what you are addressing. So in conclusion, just separate the facts and the myths, but again, apply what works into your country and apply what works from your observation during analysis and consultation. Thank you. See you again in the next segment.